Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
That is what I like to hear from Chris. We have a new part fitted there for something with the rear downforce. So welcome back everyone to F1 2017 Career Mode. Today we have the Silverstone Grand Prix. We're coming off a series of really solid finishes at Canada, Baku, and Austria. And as you can see, we finished 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Maybe today with some luck we'll be able to continue this trend and win the race. Obviously, that is unlikely to happen as I do struggle quite a bit at this track, but as you can see now we come to our qualifying lap. We have not made a lap yet, and Sebastian Vettel is currently on the pole, but think again, we have now Valtteri Bottas on the pole here, so can the Mercedes power get ahead of the Ferraris here in Silverstone and pull off a victory? The goal is qualify 10th, so personally I'm expecting somewhere about 8th, I would maybe think, but we can only hope for better. I really don't want to start too far back, but that's kind of what I'm expecting in this race. I struggle quite a bit here. I'm most concerned for Hungary. I know Hungary isn't going to be a fun one, and Malaysia, that's going to be not fun either, so there's quite a few tracks I'm not looking forward to in the future here. But now as we come to the end of the qualifying lap, we come through the final few corners here into the last right-hander and out. We will go P6 for the moment, and that is pretty good, and that's also where we will end up, right behind the two Red Bulls there. We are just over 9/10 off, which is not too bad. We got our teammate Lance Stroll P12, which is pretty good for him, so we might actually stand a decent chance going into the race.
Today is a man who's no stranger to the thrills of Silverstone. He's a past winner here in sports cars, of course. It's our good friend Anthony Davidson. You seem particularly excited for this one, Ant. Is there something you want to tell me?
Oh, just looking forward to it, Crofty. It's always a very special atmosphere, and also I started karting in the late 1980s, and I was here for that epic race in 1986 with Mansell and Piquet fighting each other right here at my home Grand Prix. So coming back to Silverstone always means a lot, and looking at the crowd today, it's clear that none of that spirit has been lost. And also, we just have such a fantastic field this year, some very close competition and conditions that should make for some great racing. I can't wait.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, and a Williams, Raikkonen, Perez, Ocon, and Nico Hülkenberg, Kvyat, Stroll, Jolyon Palmer, and Magnussen, Sainz, Grosjean, Fernando Alonso, and Pascal Wehrlein. Van Dorn and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright, you can see there Marcus Ericsson with a penalty. That doesn't really matter. He was going to be starting in the back anyways, as you would expect. But it's going to be not really any weather going to be a factor in this race. So it's going to be dry the whole way as we prepare for the start of the Silverstone Grand Prix. And we are green, right behind the two Red Bulls, already to the right of Verstappen. Try to get past him here. We got a Ferrari behind us. And we have a caution right off the bat. I'm going to try and send it up the inside of Ricciardo. We get a little bit ahead of him. We're edging him right now. A little contact there. And we have a safety car already. Alright, let's see what happened here. We got the view. It looks like Hülkenberg in the Renault got hit from someone. It looked like he got hit by a Force India, but that some reason brought out a safety car. I'm not sure why that was a safety car. Personally, I think that should have just been a simple yellow. But at least it kind of, we gain a few spots and it'll close us up to the back of Hamilton and the other guys ahead of him. So it'll give us another chance to maybe gain some spots once we go back green here. Looks like Hülkenberg is still trying to catch the field here, but he should be back up to there in no time. I don't know if he accumulated any damage. He might have got some wing damage, but I'm not sure. And now we come towards later in the lap. We're just riding behind Hamilton now, and as we close up on him, he veers off to the left, and we just barely miss him by centimeters. I mean, I just about nailed him. He lost a tire or something. He had a puncture there, so that's obviously going to take him out of this race. As you can see now on the map, he is still limping around as we're going green up here. So Lewis Hamilton's bad luck once again strikes him in his home race this time. But there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with Vettel and Bottas, and I'm probably going to get passed by the 2 Red Bulls behind me, and maybe the other a couple others. But got a potential strategy change, and I'm going to stick to the current one. But as Lewis Hamilton is just limping around slowly, trying to get back to pit road, I mean, without a doubt, we're going to at least put him 1 lap down here. And I mean, at the speed he's going, maybe he could put him 2 laps down. Either way, his race is over. As you can see, 2 cars ahead of us are already building a pretty substantial gap. And we got Daniel Ricciardo right on our tracks, and I believe he has Max Verstappen right behind him. It's going to be very hard to hold off these 2 Red Bulls. We did manage to pass a Red Bull in Austria last race when we passed Ricciardo, but we were on fresher tires at the end. And now, as we come up to the scene of where Lewis Hamilton is, see if everyone can get around him smoothly. There he is off to the right. We are able to get by him. Oh, he held up a Ferrari, and Ricciardo kind of got screwed up a bit there, but it looks like everyone's going to get by him safely. He is definitely holding up a lot of people, though. Certainly a lot of drama for Lewis Hamilton this season, a lot of drama that he doesn't want. This is one of the best runs already that I've had at this racetrack. Usually I'm used to running 6 on back, really. But as you can see, Ricciardo already closing that gap back up on me here. We're going to try and hold him off as long as I can, but another lap or 2, I feel like he is definitely going to make the pass. Going to have my draft down the straightaway here. He's certainly not close enough to make a move into the next turn, so that's fortunate for me. Looks like Lewis Hamilton now on the map there. He's just getting to pit road now. As we come to lap 9 ourselves, we're going to be pitting for the super soft tires once again. Ricciardo, as you can see, did get by me. We're running second to him right now, as Bottas and whoever it was, Vettel or Raikkonen, who was in front of him, have already made their pit stops. A little helicopter flying up there, but hoping for the best stop here we can get. Ricciardo leaving pit road already. As we enter our pit box, we have to wait for both the Haas and the Toro Rosso there. So that certainly slowed us down a little bit, but we managed to get out in front of Kvyat. They are all on medium tires and I'm on super softs, which is a little concerning that maybe I should have taken at least softs, because it looks like these guys might be able to make it to the end. Got Jolyon Palmer coming up to our left, and he passes us there. He's obviously started on the softs. We were able to get by him easily now as we come up to Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber car. I ran a little wide there trying to make a pass on the outside as we're trying to get around him for 6. Before he makes his pit stop, I'm going to go up the right side of him into this sharp right bend. We managed to clear him. I kind of sent him wide and I go off track myself. And we are going to keep the current strategy. I don't want any changes, but we come now to lap 17 and Nico Hulkenberg's day just gets even worse as he spins out off of contact there. And his day just cannot get any better at this point. I did not bring out a safety car, but now we are going to make our second pit stop of the day here from P5, and this right here is really what's going to hurt me, because I feel like everyone else, they can all make it on the medium tires. Bottas and them might have to pit, but this is really not the strategy that I should have taken as we pull out in front of Marcus Ericsson there. It seems like the Sauber has a pretty decent strategy for this race. But I don't really think, obviously, they're not going to be a factor. I doubt they're going to get points or anything, but
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a
make a
penalty
little
for
bit of
driving
contact with that
vehicles
wall
onto
there.
the track.
We come out in P10, so we're still in a points position, but we're way worse off than what I was earlier in the running order, unfortunately. Closing in towards the end of this race already. This really isn't too long of a race. It is a pretty short one. 26 laps, and it only takes just over a minute and a half to get around this circuit. But now we just need to try and run down Verstappen. He is quite a ways ahead of me, and he is on a slower tire. But really what I'm relying on right now is just some guys in front of us pitting, and that's really the only realistic possibility of gaining positions, to be honest, at this point. The only guy realistically I see possibly running down at this moment is Max Verstappen. Yeah, we are 4 seconds behind him as we come to lap 20 now. We have actually run Max Verstappen down, but running him down is one thing, getting past him is another, but we got really loose there, just about lost control as I make a huge move up the inside of Verstappen. I did not actually anticipate doing that, but I braked so late that if I would have tried to stay behind him, I would have just smashed into the back of him.
Okay, gap to leader.
Alright, we come to lap 23 now. We have worked our way up to 8th. We only passed Verstappen, the other guy's pitted, but I forget who it was, the other guy that made a pit stop, but we're probably not going to gain any more spots from here on out. We're probably just going to ride around here in P8. Magnussen might be a possibility if he has maybe a problem. He drops off pace. We have been catching him the last handful of laps, but I don't see enough time to get there as we now approach and are on the last lap. We have gone up to 7th due to another car coming onto pit road. We only have one car that's DNF'd in this race. Come to the DRS zone or whatever, or the end of Sector 1, and we are 1.3 seconds behind Kevin Magnussen as Kimi Räikkönen has won the British Grand Prix, but we are just not close enough at this point to Kevin Magnussen to really run him down unless I can get DRS on him here in this next zone, which is coming up very shortly. I still feel like he is definitely too far out. Do the S's one final time. That's a very technical part of the track. We do gain quite a bit of time through there on Magnussen, but I'm pretty sure he's too far ahead at this point. We do have the gap under 1 second, but at the DRS little green circle back there, at that point we were not within 1 second. So that's certainly going to do it, and we're not going to be able to run Kevin Magnussen down as I get in the sand a little bit there. It doesn't really matter at this point. Send it off in there trying to get to him, but it's not going to be enough. As we come through the last turn here in Britain, we will finish in P7.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Pick up rubber and bring it home. Alright, so let's watch Kimi Räikkönen's celebration. I'm assuming Bottas has joined him on the podium, and maybe Vettel has joined him on the podium as well. But we'll have to wait and see here.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Well, this is it. This is where they all want to be. Here come the top three then, out onto the podium after a fascinating Grand Prix.
Alright, there you have it. Two Red Bulls on the podium, as well as Valtteri Bottas, the last guy on the podium there. Kevin Magnussen gained a lot of positions there. Started 14th and finished in 6th. We did lose one spot, but let's see, and he did win driver of the day as well. But our teammate Lance Stroll finishing 15th. Perez was the only guy that DNF'd. Hamilton a lap down. He got beat by a McLaren still, but there we are in points. We are beating Hamilton by 1 point due to his bad luck. That is just, he's just having terrible luck this season. I mean, he's going to have to go on a roll right now just to even have a chance at winning this championship. Alright, so we have just over 1,000 resource points now. We are beating Perez in the rivalry, and there's our rep, so it's just about halfway for Sauber, but I really don't want any offers from the bad teams. I really want to try and build my rep as high as possible and maybe get an offer from either Ferrari or Mercedes. I mean, preferably Ferrari, because I really like driving that car. It reminds me of the 2015 Ferrari in the game, so I really enjoyed it in that game as well. So, but we'll have to do our best to potentially get that offer from them. But that'll do it for this episode of F1 2017 Career Mode. Next race will be Hungary, and I suck there, so that's going to be interesting. We're going to have to try some strategy or something, but I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.